morning, boys and girls. Welcome to the lecture number 7. So in the last class we are talking about the method overriding in a Python, and next we have discussed about the importance of any inheritance, how to do a method overriding in an inheritance. These are the topics which we have discussed in our last class. So coming to the today's session, in today's class we will talk about the what is an exception and what are the various types of an exception in a Python and how to handle all the exceptions in a Python. So coming to a exception is nothing but a runtime error which can be handled by the program. I am repeating again, a exception is nothing but a runtime error which should be dealt by a programmer. So there are two types of an errors. In that, the first one is a compile time errors and next one is a runtime error. So coming to the compile time error, a compile time error is nothing but a syntactical errors that by looking at the program, by debugging, we can happily reduce the compile time error. But coming to the runtime error, a tester will able to catch the runtime errors. So we have to, as a programmer, we have to in advance and we have to find out the errors. We have to find out the runtime errors in my program. So coming to all exceptions are represented as a class in a Python. This is a important point you have to remember. In the Python, all exceptions are in terms of a classes. And coming to the next one, so types of exception. There are two types of exception. In that, the first one is a user-defined exception, and next one is a built-in exceptions. So the first one we are going to talk about is the first type of error is a built-in exceptions, and next one is a user-defined exceptions. So coming to the differences between a built-in exception and a user-defined exceptions. So what is a built-in exception? A built-in exception is nothing but which are already available in Python. Those type of an exceptions we are calling it as a built-in exceptions. And coming to the user-defined exception, a programmer has to create his own exception. So that we are calling it as a user-defined exception. And coming to the next important thing, all exceptions are represented as a class in Python that we have already discussed. So these are the different types of an exception. So base exception is a main class from this exception. So a exception is categorized into two types. First one is a standard error and next one is a warnings. So in the standard error we are having a assertion error, syntax error, type error, end of file error, and next one is a runtime error, and import error, and a name error. So all this we can happily handle. And coming to the warnings, we are having a deprecating warning. For example, if you right now 3.9 Python version has been released, a standard version. If we are using a 3.7 Python, a few features has been deprecated. Those is nothing but a deprecation warning, runtime warning, and import warning. So these are the two categories of an exceptions. First one is a standard error and next one is a warning. Yeah. So coming to the next category. So the next one is what is the need of an exception handling in a Python? So what is the main purpose of exception handling in Python? So when an exception occurs, the program terminates suddenly. For example, if I have been to an ATM to withdraw the cash, for example, abruptly, suddenly, without displaying any error on my screen, for example, if my program, if my transactions are completely abandoned, then the user won't understand what's happening to the system. So by using an exception, what I'll do is I will display a suitable error to the user so that a user can understand that exception and in the next transaction he can rectify it. So without an exception, the program terminates suddenly and the user won't understand anything. So that is the reason why I need an exception. And coming to the next one, the program may be corrupt. For example, if my program terminates suddenly, there is a chances of my program will corrupt and my registry files will be corrupted. So as a result, I cannot run my program. And coming to the next one, exception may cause a data loss for my DBMS or a file. Suddenly, as a result, my program terminates abruptly or it crashes down. As a result, what are the data there inside my database, it will be lost. So this is the second important reason. And what is an exception handling? Coming to the exception handling, here in the exception handling, we should be thorough within a few keywords. In that, the first keyword and the most important keyword is a try. The try block contains a code which may cause exceptions. That means the programmer who is writing my program, he thinks in advance and he assumes that here in this line of a code there may be a chance of getting an exception. So the problematic code, the programmer will put the problematic code entirely into my try block. So the try block, inside a try block, I'll write down my problematic code. And coming to the next one, the syntax of a try block is, first of all, I'll go with a try, and next what I'll do is I'll write down the statements, and next remaining the problematic statements I'll write down the problematic statements here. And coming to the next keyword which we should be familiar is a except keyword, expect keyword. The expect block is used to catch an exception that is raised in the try block. For example, here inside my try there is a problem with my code, and this problematic code should be dealt. So this will be thrown to the except. Now my except will catch that error exception, and my except will try to rectify, try to assess the problem. So a try block should be contains a expect block. So expect is like a catch in a Java or in Java or a C++. Like in CPP or in Java we are having a try followed by catch. Here in Python we will have a try followed by expect. So see, the syntax for this one is expect and the exception name. For example, I am dealing with a division by 0 error, then here I will get a arithmetic exception, and the arithmetic exception is followed by a group of statements. This is the thing you have to remember. And coming to the next one is else. This block will be get executed when no exception is raised. Else block is executed executed after a try block. For example, the else will be executed even if there is a problem in my try or not. Irrespective of the exception, my else block will automatically get executed because it is in the block. So after after there is no exception, then else will be executed. So the syntax for the else is else followed by a statement, else followed by statement. And next one is a finally block. This block will get executed irrespective of whether there is an exception or not. For example, if there is an exception in try or not, but my finally will get executed automatically. At any cost, my finally block will be executed. This is the fundamental here. And the syntax for this one is finally is a keyword followed by a statements. So coming to the next one, we can write several blocks for a single try block. I can write several blocks for a single try. And coming to the next one, we can write multiple except blocks to handle multiple exceptions. For example, I can write a multiple catches. Like that, in the similar way, here I can write a multiple exception. One exception is for an arithmetic exception. One is for an array auto bound exception. Like that, I can have a n number of except keyword in my program. And coming to the third point, we can try a block. We can write a try block within an except. Exactly. Happily, I can write a try block. But no need to write an except block here. It is an optional. And coming to the next one, we cannot write a except block without a try block. But the vice versa is not possible. I cannot write a except without writing a try block. And next one is finally block is always executed irrespective of whether there is an exception or not. So finally will get executed automatically irrespective there is an error in my program or not. So this is the funda here. And next one is else block is optional. I can write my else or not. It is an optional thing. So finally block is also a optional. I want all of you to remember these important points. And next one is observe carefully here. So there is a try. a try followed by a problematic code. I'll write all the problematic code here. And next one is except, which is nothing but a catch. Here I'll write down the except and followed by else statement, and finally statement. This is first category. And coming to the second one is try is followed by statement. And next one is except, which is nothing but a class name, except class name, because exceptional class name, because every exception in Python is represented as in a class. And next one is statement. And coming to the third category, that is the third category, I will have a try and followed by statements. And next one is an except, and next one is a statement. Except 2, I can have a number of except keyword, like a number of catches I can have, and statement, and finally here else is not there, else is optional. And coming to the fourth category, I'm having a try followed by statement, and next one, this is a simple try statement. These are the four categories I want all of you to remember. I just want to revise the things which I told you right now in this slide. First of all, observe carefully. First of all, observe carefully. I'm using a try followed by a statement, and next one I'm using a except, and next one I'm having a statement. I have used a else here, it is a valid, and next I have used a finally here. So this is the first category. And coming to the second category, here I have used a try followed by statements and except keyword. This is my second category. And coming to here in the method, I'm having a one try followed by number of excepts. I'm having a 2 except, and finally this is the third. And here I have not written a else. Else is a optional. I can write or I cannot write. It is an optional. And coming to the fourth category, in the fourth category I have used a simple try here. So these are the things you have to remember. And coming to the next one is except. So except, what is an except? Within an exception class name, with the exception class name. And second one is except class name. Except is a keyword followed by a class name, and next one is a statement. Exception is an object. Here exception is an object, remember. And next one is except followed by exceptional object name. Here I have used a except name as an object. And coming to the statements, multiple exceptions within a tuple. Yes, I can have a multiple exceptions within a tuple. So this is how I will write except exception name, comma exception class name. 2 like that I can have a multiple exception within a class name. I can simply use an exception within a normal thing, or I can use it as an object, or an exception can be used as a tuple here. So these are the statements. Catch can have any type of an exception. Either it may be a arithmetic exception, array out of bound exception, any kind of an exception. So coming to the asset statement. So the asset statement is useful to ensure that a given condition is true. If it is not true, it raises an assertion error. Assertion is similar like a Java assertions. So here the condition, if the condition is true, then no problem. If there is a not true, if the condition is false, then it raises a assertion error. So the syntax for the assertion is asset is a keyword I have to use followed by condition and a error message. So if the condition is false, then the exception by name asset error is raised along with the message. Along with the message, assertion error will be raised. And coming to the next one, if the message is not given and the condition is false, then also assertion error will be raised without a message. And coming to the, so these are the important things about a assertion error, asset statement. So coming to the assignment questions. So the assignment question for today is first one, explain about the asset keyword in detail. And second one is write a detailed explanation about the try and accept with example. So these are the two questions. Is it clear? And that's all for today. Thank you. And in my next class, I'll continue with an exception handling topic. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to the Python lecture number 8. So in our last class, we have discussed about a exception handling in a Python. So what is a try, what is a except, what is how to use an else, and next one is a finally block. We have discussed about this 4 keywords in detail. So what is a raised exception, what are the categories of exception, what is an exception. So all these things we have discussed in our last class. So coming to that today's class, today we will discuss about the how to write down a user defined exception. So in my last class we have dealt about the how to work out with a built-in exceptions, but in today's class we will discuss about what is a user defined exception is. How to deal with a user defined exception, that we are going to discuss right now. So coming to the user defined exception, a programmer can create his own exception, that we are calling it as a user defined exception or a custom exception. Yes, in every object oriented programming I can have my own exceptions, that we are calling it as a user defined. Since I am creating it, that's why I call it as we usually call it as a user defined exception, and it can be called it as a custom exception as well. So creating exception class using a exception class as a base class. So in the inheritance we are having a base class and a derived class. A base class is nothing but a parent class. Here if I want to create my own user defined exception class, what I have to do is I have to take the help of an exception class. I have to take it as a base class. From there I have to create my own exceptions. This is an important point you have to remember. And coming to the next one is how to rising. We are in this today's lecture we will talk about how to create our own, how to raise our own exceptions. And next one we will talk about how to handle our own exceptions. So these are the topic of discussions. And coming to the next one is creating a exception in a Python. How to create our own exception in a Python. So observe carefully. We can create our own exception by creating a subclass to built-in exception class. So here the built-in exception class is a base class which is an exception class. So from this I will create a derived class which is nothing but my own class. So class my exception, here I am passing my exception, a base class as an argument here. Since also from looking at the syntax I can clearly say that it is a single inheritance. This is my own class, I have created it and I have passed a exception as an argument here. And next one followed by pass. And next one is class my exception, define underscore init constructor and argument, and self dot message is equal to argument. So this is how I'll create my own exception. And coming to the next one is how to raise a exception. So raising a exception is very similar. If you are familiar with a C++ or Java programming, here we can happily raise my exception. So rising statement is used to raise a user defined exception. So rising statement here we are using to raise our own exception, user defined exception. So here I have to use a raise my exception and the name of the message you have to mention here. Is it clear? And next one is how to handling my exception. Here we have to know how to handle the exception here. So how to handle my exception? Observe. Using a try and except block, programmer can handle a exception. So programmer using a try and except, a programmer can handle exceptions. So try followed by a statements, and next one is accept my exception as MYE statements. Here using MYE is my user defined name and the statements. So we have to know the differences between a error and a exception. So what is a error and what is a exception is? Observe, an exception is an error that can be handled by a programmer, and which is nothing but I can looking at the program, I can find out the error, and which is nothing but a programmer will rectify it, and which I am calling it as a exception. So an exception which are not handled by a programmer becomes an error. For example, these errors are runtime errors. So runtime errors are to be handled by a testing team. For example, during the runtime, if a user gives any wrong input as an argument, if he gives any wrong passes a wrong output, as a result there might be an error. So those type of errors testers will find it out. So this is the differences between a exception and an error. A exception is handled by a programmer, a error is handled by a testing team. And coming to the next one, all exceptions occur only at a runtime. Yes, exceptions occur at a runtime. Error may occur at a compile time or a runtime. So while I am compiling my program, during that time I may get a error. So error versus warning. So we have to know the differences between what is a error and what is a warning is. So observe here, it is compulsory to handle all errors, otherwise programmer will not execute, while warning represents a caution, and even though it is not handled, the programmer will execute. So here the error should be handled by a program, within the program using a exception handling technique, either within a try, a catch, all those things I will try to handle all my errors. And while warning is nothing, no need to worry about it, it's a caution messages, even if we handle it or not, there is no problem there. Errors are derived as a subclass of a standard error. So this is an errors are standard, it is a superclass, and from this the derived class is an errors. So while warnings are derived from subclasses of a warning class. Is it clear? So that's all for today. So in this today's class we have observed about the differences between a error and exception, and we have observed about the what is an error and what is a warning messages. Note down the today's question. Explain in detail about error versus exception with a small program. So this is the question you have to know, write it down for your next assignment. So that's all for today. Thank you. In my next class I'll talk about the NumPy and pandas. That is a unit number 5. Thank you.